Welcome in to week 12 of the college football bets. It is good to have you back. We are on fire going into this week, and I cannot wait to get you the parlay. We got a same game parlay. We've got the lock of the week. We have the player prop of the week. We have even more. I'm giving out more picks. But first, let's do this intro. All right, welcome. It's good to have you into the IDP Plus Bets College Football channel. I am your host, Billy Mansell at Ombre Vendor. Look, we are on fire this week, or just going into this week. We have the lock of the week that's just been more locked in than I have been in quite some time. The player props, I think we've only missed two this whole entire season, which is just insane. So I can't wait to keep that up. The parlays have been a little cold, so we're going to switch things up a little bit this week. We've got a underdog and a same game parlay I want to throw in there because we're just going to try something different. Sometimes when it's not working, you got to switch up the vibe, switch up the flow a little bit. So we're going to do that. But first, let us get into this week's lock of the week, and that is LSU MONEYLINE minus 185. Look, LSU's coming off of a pretty debilitating defeat against Alabama. They are ranked. They still got something to fight for, and I think they're going to go out and prove that while they're maybe not a college football playoff team, they are a team that has a good quarterback, good players, and is all around not going to give up. Florida has pretty much bailed on this season for all intents and purposes. I don't really see how this is at home at Florida, but it's not as scary as it once was. Texas went in there and just completely humiliated them last week. And I think LSU, while they're not going to go in there and beat them by a ton, I do think they're going to go in there and get the job done. So the lock of the week this week, which we are on fire with right now, is LSU money line. On to the player prop of the week. And we are just totally on fire. Raheem Sanders had multiple touchdowns last week. So we're going to continue that with another running back in the SEC, and this is Dylan Sampson from Tennessee Volunteers. He is going to be an anytime touchdown scorer at minus 155. You want to know the best thing about Dylan Sampson this season? He has scored in every single game so far. And against Georgia this weekend, they're going to need him to do it once again. He was a little bit banged up in last week's game. However, I expect him to come to this game fully healthy and get into that end zone once again. He's done it every weekend this season. He's going to continue it this weekend. Dylan Sampson, anytime touchdown scorer, minus 155 at DraftKings. Go grab that now because that number is not, a guy that scored a touchdown in every game this season being minus 155 is insane. That's a minus 200 at best. So you're getting a great deal here for your straight bet. All right, on to the next part, which we normally would be our parlay, but I'm not going to lie. Parlays have been a little cold. Pretty much everything that I think is going to happen or everything that I expect to happen has just been going the complete opposite. So we're going to switch things up a little bit this week. And I've got two extra bets in here. We got one same game parlay that I'm going to throw at you. The same game parlay this week is plus 258. It is Texas to cover the minus 13.5 and under 57.5 against Arkansas this weekend. I just think this is going to be a very sleepy game for Texas and Arkansas. I don't think Arkansas has got quite the firepower to keep up in this game. I do think Texas is going to blow them out. I honestly kind of see this being like a 42 to 10 game. And that obviously would get the under. I just don't see how Arkansas scores on this Texas team. This Texas team is just bullying everyone right now, especially with their defense. So I would just go ahead and scoop this up real quick. I know the odds aren't going to blow your mind. However, I think this is an easy way to get some locked in cash at plus 258. So that is Texas minus 13.5 and the under at 57.5. All right, we're going to go with an underdog this week that I think is a very strong play, and that is Kansas at BYU. Kansas to win the game on the money line is plus 124. Now, BYU is undefeated. I understand that. BYU is playing at home. I understand that as well. BYU has been getting an extremely lucky break after break, week in and week out in these games. And I think the luck is finally going to run out on Saturday night. This game kicks at 9:15. It's a late kick for Kansas, not necessarily for BYU, but I do think that this is just one of those games where it just builds up for BYU to win this one, but it's not going to work out their way. This BYU team being undefeated is one of the most shocking storylines of the season for those that have been paying attention to college football. You yourself know this BYU team is not good enough to be undefeated right now, and Kansas is playing a little bit better than they have early in the season. That team who we all had high expectations for going into the season has kind of come back to actually playing closer to those expectations. So I actually fully expect Kansas to go into BYU and pull an upset. Plus 124 isn't even you would expect against an undefeated team for that to be plus 400, plus 500. They're only getting plus 124 odds. So clearly the odds makers in Vegas, honestly, are kind of siding with this being a more possible upset than not. So that is Kansas money line plus 124. All right, let's run over these bets just one more time, just so we're all on the same page here. We have LSU, lock of the week to win the game outright, minus 185. We have anytime touchdown scorer, Dylan Sampson from Tennessee to score at Georgia. It's going to be the game of the weekend. Everyone should be locked into this who has NFL interest. Dylan Sampson, minus 155. He's been rated as a top 50 prospect, so you may be seeing him in the NFL as a more prominent player next season. So definitely keep an eye on him, but I expect him to get the touchdown. As I said, he has scored in every game this season. To say this is a lock is kind of insane. To bet against him scoring a touchdown would actually make more sense than for us to just take this free money that they're giving out. Same game parlay here. We have Texas minus 13.5 and the total being under 57.5 in this Texas-Arkansas game. I think Texas is going to get out there and blow them out right away. I think that the most likely thing that would be this going over is Texas scoring 57 by themselves. But I think they're going to go out there. They're going to get there. It's going to be 49 points, but I don't think that Arkansas is going to be able to put any points on the board. So let's go ahead and lock that in. Plus 258 on that one. Plus 258 right now. And then the underdog play of the week. We haven't done one of these yet, so we're going to throw it out there. Kansas money line plus 124. I think that there's a great opportunity for Kansas to pull this upset. And if you put some money on it, you're going to end up getting paid out in the end. I think that this is a great way to pick an upset here. Kansas plus 124 against an undefeated team. That's crazy that you're getting those kind of odds against an undefeated team, but here we are. So that is Kansas to win the game. All right, that is all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in this entire season. We'll be back next week. We've got some more plays to get, and then we got some bowl games, which are kind of wacky, but it's actually a decent way to make some cash because there's a lot of people that kind of just sleep through the bowl games and they don't think, well, this person. We're going to be locked in. We're going to make some money on these bowl games. So please, follow me at Ombre Vendor on Twitter. I love hearing everyone's thoughts and what they feel each week about these bets. And yeah, I appreciate it. DM me. My DMs are always open. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.